our project, we decided to showcase welfare drug testing and kind of bring out the pros and cons of welfare drug testing. And right now, Indiana is working on a bill to require welfare recipients to be drug tested, and it's a more Republican-driven cause. And actually, Florida instituted a law similar to that last June, and basically in Florida, the aid recipients have to pay for the drug screening, which will be paid back if they pass, and then those who fail their drug test, they can still have their kids receive their benefits, they just don't get any.
So the arguments against the bill right now are that it's unconstitutional because it's an illegal invasion of personal privacy and violates your Fourth Amendment rights, because it targets specific groups, only the people on welfare. So to counteract that, in Indiana they added a clause that required politicians and legislators to also pass a drug test, but that amendment caused the bill to not pass through. So they switched to random drug testing. So whoever's in the welfare program will be randomly selected to be drug tested, or if they have reasonable suspicion to believe that you are using drugs. But the bill is still not well received, and the law in Florida is still not doing very well because it costs just a lot of money to analyze all of the urine, and the money that they save by catching people who are on drugs is only about $240 a month, but the actual cost of drug testing all of the people selected for that month is right around $1,000.
Okay, and then there are also a lot of arguments for the drug testing. A lot of people think that that they have to get drug tested for the jobs that they earn their money for, and so why should the people on welfare not have to be drug tested for basically free money? And they say that it's unfair for the workers to pay taxes for people just to go on and do drugs. And a lot of people think that the people on welfare are spending their welfare checks unwisely. And basically the drug tests, people believe that they will discourage people to do drugs if they know they'll be tested. And just like in school, with the random drug testing, some kids don't do drugs because they know there's always that threat of being drug tested and being caught and possibly expelled. And so people want to do that for drug testing, so it'll kind of discourage people on welfare from doing drugs. Okay, and here is a video about welfare drug testing.
In the Buzz Now at 9, is it a good idea to require welfare recipients to take a drug test before getting benefits? It is already being done in Florida, and as we told you heading into the break, some want this to be a nationwide thing. Supporters insist it's a way to make sure government money is not feeding people's addictions. Critics say it's bad public policy, and it even, in fact, could be unconstitutional. A TV station in Florida followed the first 40 people there who had to pass a drug test to get their welfare checks. Of those 40, 2 failed their drug screen. Now, the state, they'll save about $240 a month if it denies those 2 people benefits. It spent, however, $1,100 to test all 40. Now at 9, what do you think of this idea?
See, that's the problem right there, is that they're spending more than it is going to save them. Because I first heard this and I thought, that's great. It's a great idea. They shouldn't be using welfare money to go out and buy drugs. But if the goal is to save money and they're not doing it, what is the point?
Well, this is interesting to me, too, because they're screening people who are applying, not people who are already receiving benefits. So I wonder, you know, what the numbers would show there if they were screened as well.
Well, let's jump online and read your comments. Linda Beliza writes, I look at it this way. If I have to take a drug test to get the job that pays into the tax base that provides the assistance, then by all means the recipients need to take a drug test too.
Che Durbin says, if we have to take a drug test for keeping a job, which I am totally for, then why not have to take one to receive benefits for not having one?
Susan Olamia says, I'm wondering if one is on welfare, how is one able to buy drugs? I'm a single parent working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. I cannot afford to have health insurance, let alone buy drugs.
Annette Crawford Musgrove says it would save the states tons of money, that it's really going to drug abusers who use the bulk of it for just that, drugs, instead of buying food, rent, etc. Test, test, test.
Well, and you know, Hatzel is right over here, and hopefully we can drag him into this conversation, whether he likes it or not. Hatzel, I know you were saying that Arizona actually has a similar program on the books.
Yeah, and the reason I know is because I'm doing the Hear Me Out section on ABC 15, and I wanted to figure out if we were doing it. Turns out that apparently the Republicans have approved a budget that has a program in store.
So it's not in place yet, but they're working
Well,
on
they
getting
say it started in 2010. The question would be, is it working here, and how does it work? So
And
we've
what is
got,
the cost of it?
Exactly, and so we've got both sides on our website. That's going to start on Sunday. It's going to come up on Hear Me Now section. So
All right,
you'll
that's
see
Very
it there.
interesting.
Yeah,
Should be a
so
good
we've got
read.
both sides too.
And those are usually posted in the morning, Sunday morning on abc15.com. Hatzel, all right, great. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Hatzel.
this.
We appreciate that.
I do want to read another comment from one of our viewers. Jordan Coker says, he points out, the military receives free health care and they are subject to drug testing and they put their lives on the line for us. Just saying.